This.
That magical time on a Friday morning. We are live. Good morning, Debbie.
Morning, Bertie. Good morning. We're talking about OKRs today, aren't we?
We are talking
you're
about
now
OKRs.
going to teach me something.
I'm the teacher today, am I?
You're the teacher today. Come on, teach me something. And this is following on last week's business Funsize, isn't it? Where we were talking about measurement. What can we measure in our business for success? It's not just necessarily the revenue. And so you were talking about OKRs. So come on, give it to me.
Okay, give it to you. Right. So OKRs, this is a framework for goal setting. So in fact, let's just start at the beginning. OKR stands for objectives and key results.
Okay.
So it's all about setting objectives for your business. And then the key results are, if you achieve these results, that's how you know you get there. But
Perfect.
OKRs are sorry?
That makes sense.
Yes,
I like that.
So it's a really well-known framework that's used in big businesses like Google, and they were introduced them in Just Eat as well. So I'm sure they still use them there now. So it's what it means is it's cascading goals. So essentially, you have your OKRs cascade throughout your entire company. So if you've got an objective for somebody, I don't know, the CEO's objective is to grow the business by whatever, then those key results then can start cascading down to be other people within the company's objectives. So it's a really, really good framework of cascading those goals and make sure that everybody knows what they're working on and why they're working on it. But it isn't just for big companies, because there's some really good things about OKRs in there. And the most important thing is that you're setting goals in the first place, right? Which we can agree on is really important. And a lot of people don't set goals. So I mean, for example, I'm like, now I realized with the number of my emails, it's almost halfway through the year, because I started sending those daily emails at the beginning of the year, and it's like 160, whatever I'm on now. And it's that 6 months to me has gone like that. But actually, when I look back at what I've achieved in that time, there's actually quite a lot of stuff that I'm pleased about. But that's only happened because I set some goals and then I went for them.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important to set those goals, but just setting goals and then not having a plan to get there is, it's just a bit crazy, right? And that's what the key results do. So it gives you some examples of, if you hit those key results, then you're probably going to hit that goal. And that's the whole point around it.
Okay, so I would, because, obviously we've spoken about goals a lot, and I'm a big believer in kind of setting goals, like what's your vision, what's your goals, what actions are you going to take? And I suppose if you make like a SMART goal, that's the final point. Like, this is the big version of success. Are these OKRs then like things that you would hit? So you're kind of making mini measurements along the way to know that you're on track to make that final big goal. Have I understood that right?
Yeah, pretty much. So you would have, with an OKR, with a goal in general. So you generally have this. Have you heard of like the BHAG goal, the big, hairy, audacious goal?
Yeah, you've told me this about.
Yeah. So you would have that BHAG goal. That's your overarching massive goal that would sit above your business, that you're always shooting for. Okay. Then, of course, as with anything, it's always better to break it down into smaller sections. So that's your overarching one. Then you would maybe set your yearly goal, and then OKRs are run quarterly. So you would run these in almost quarterly sprints.
Sure.
So you would look at what you want to achieve for the year, and then break that down into quarters. It just makes it much more manageable and much more achievable. But you can take something that's a little bit intangible. So, for example, one of your goals was to grow your email list, right?
Yeah.
So that could be an objective. Your objective would be to grow my email list. How would you know when you got there? Well, your key results could be things that would then drive that goal. So it could be, I need to publish a new lead magnet every week. It could be, I need to be mentioning about the quality of my emails, and your emails are quality, on my social media at least 2 times a week, and those sort of things. And the idea is then that if you hit those key results, the chances are you're going to hit the objective. But here's the clever part with it. OKRs, you're only ever supposed to hit round about 70% of them. So it's not about planning these amazing strict goals that you are going to hit every time. It's just about pointing you in the right direction. And if you're hitting those about 70% of the time, you're there or thereabouts. If you're hitting them 100% of the time, then your goals have been too easy.
Yeah.
And if you're not hitting them at all, either you're not doing the work to hit your goals, or you're setting too high expectations, which is leading to disappointment, which is leading to overwhelm within your business. And that's not productive either. So there's a happy medium, and the happy medium is around the 70% mark. So that's what we're aiming for with them. So without going into too much detail about exactly how it works, it's people can get into this by setting themselves some goals, actually setting them some key results to, what are the things that are going to drive me towards those goals? What can I physically do on a day-to-day basis that's going to get me there?
Mm-hmm.
And then just work to those. And at the end of the quarter, you've either hit them or you've not, and you review them, and then you set new goals for the following quarter. People are often afraid of setting goals because they're like, well, what if I don't hit it? Or it's this fear of failure, right?
Oh my God, it's everywhere. It's an endemic fear, isn't it? Like,
it is.
I think everybody has that. Yeah, the fear of failure. And I love the fact that you're kind of almost baking in, you're not going to meet it 100% because you're making those big hairy goals or stretch goals or whatever you want to call them. And you want them to be exciting enough for you to be motivated and want to do them. And if they're too easy, you're just not that bothered, are you?
That's right.
So I love the fact that they're stretch goals, and the fact that you're building in an element of failure, and that's kind of baked in. And so then that's okay, but at least you're pushing towards something. And it's the push, I suppose, isn't it, with the OKR goals? It's like that motivation to push towards it. You might not succeed, but at least you're doing something. At least you're working towards that final destination.
That's right. And with OKRs as well, and a really important thing that they do in big companies is that these are in no way linked to performance reviews. They're never used as a stick to beat you, as that, well, you've not hit the OKR, so like get out of the bit. Like, that is not the point of them. They're about personal development and driving people towards that goal. So you would have different OKRs for different areas of your own development. So you might have one for a business goal, but then equally you might have a personal one as well. So you might want to take some time out and do some charity work or whatever. And then it's the steps that you would do to get there. It might be to get fit. You can use it for anything, but they are never used as a stick. That is the whole point of them. So if you're thinking of bringing these into your business, and you've got people that are working for you, then if they're not hitting their OKRs, you're not directly punishing them for not hitting the goals that they have set to try and push the business through. There are other performance issues that you probably need to look at, but that's a really important thing as well. It's a very personal thing. It's about giving people the empowerment to be able to work towards their own goals, because as we know, a lot of people don't set them, and they're either scared of not hitting them, or, as I had yesterday, some people are scared of hitting their goals. It's like, well, if I hit that goal, then that's going to mean a whole new set of problems for my business that I don't necessarily want. And that is a whole different story altogether. But goal setting,
Goal setting, definitely, not sitting.
Goal setting is very important. Very important.
Yeah, for sure. And I was in a group the other day, and we were talking about the benefit of either writing down your goals or telling somebody else about your goal, or saying them out loud and kind of making them concrete. That's really important as well, isn't it? And I think through doing this mapping out process, which you could use, Google Sheets for, or a Trello board or something, so you can kind of measure that progress and see, am I hitting them? And I suppose by having those quarterly reviews, it enables you that time to slightly change your tactic. Say if I'm like, I'm going to grow my email list, and I've committed to doing a webinar once a week, but those webinars aren't really converting. In the next quarter, I could look at doing something else that may have a bigger impact. And so you kind of have that goal, that final goal in mind, but you can constantly look for different ways to get there.
That is exactly right, Debbie. Yeah, it is. It's not just about bigger businesses. I know we spoke about bigger businesses, but this is about smaller businesses, creative businesses. Anybody can apply this framework. And I'm not saying go and find some OKR software and sit there and learn this whole framework. Not at all. The reason we were talking about this today was just to give you an introduction about this way of setting goals and then breaking them down and just making them a little bit more tangible. And that's what we wanted to go on about today.
Well, we love a bit of goal setting. We've spoken about this lots of times. And I think, yeah, if you're listening, then it's really worthwhile taking some time out of your business to think, where do I want to take it? What does success look like? And what are the things that I'm going to do to get me there? And how can I measure those things? And it doesn't have to be, like Jeff Bezos world domination. It doesn't have to be a goal. It doesn't have to be that much of a stretch goal. It can be something that feels a little bit more comfortable for you. But I think if you're not reaching for something, how do you know when you've got there? And you might have fear of failure, and we don't have time to go into this too much. But if you're not failing, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
You've got to be to grow anything, any business, any personal development, what you've got to get comfortable with failure. You are going to fuck some things up, and that's just part of the course. Yeah. And the more you get comfortable with fucking things up, then the more you will do it, and the more you will learn, and the stronger you will become as a result. So OKRs are just a great way, a great introduction to just getting used to that failure, not hitting your goals all the time, but still shooting for something.
Should we talk about fear of failure next week and things that we failed
on?
Learnings. But
learnings. Okay. All right. I do the subject, so I'm going to save that one. I'll tell you about it offline that we've got. But yes, all right. Let's do that then next week. We'll do fear of failure. Oh no, I've done a video on it. We've never spoke about it, have we?
I don't think we have. And I think actually it's really nice for people to hear about our not failures, but learning points, or however you want to put it, because everybody has them or has had them, and that's okay.
I never make mistakes, Debbie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, all right. So next week, same place. Come and check us out. Share your learnings or failures, and we'll share ours with you, or some of them.
Yes, we will. Yeah. Getting comfortable with fucking up. That should be the title.
Oh my God, that is the title. Getting comfortable with fucking up with Bertie and Debbie. Love it. All right. See you next week.
See you next Friday.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.